Good morning and welcome to Daystar TV. I am Ashley Mutahi and this is the Intangible show. Now our topic of the day is the supernatural world, and I'll be joined by a guest who'll be giving us her experience with the supernatural world. You guys will get to meet her shortly after this break. Welcome back, guys. And just as I said, my guest is with me in studio. Karibu sana. It's a pleasure to have you here.
I'm glad.
Thank you. So could you kindly introduce yourself?
Yes, so my name is Jennifer Chow. I'm a Daystar student. I study communication, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So I'd like us to dive right into it because I feel like this topic is a bit scary, but it's also really interesting. So speaking of supernatural experiences, when exactly was your first encounter?
Yeah, so the first that I genuinely remember is when I was a kid. So I was around like 5 years old, and you know that time when your parents are sending you to bed. Yeah, so my parents were like, oh, let's pray, and then you go to bed. So when we're done praying, I went to my room. I walked to my room, and then I opened the door. I saw a man sitting on my bed.
Oh my gosh!
I saw a man sitting on my bed, and then he was dressed in. You see the way how we would picture Jesus dressing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it was Jesus. You know when you're a kid, the view of things isn't really correct. And
Yeah.
there's a man sitting on the seat, and this man had a gift on his hand. So he told me, come and take this gift. So I just went. I took the gift. And then after receiving it is when now I registered, like, I'm talking to a stranger. So I started screaming and running back to my parents. Mom, there's something wrong. There's someone in my room. So when my mom is coming to check, she's like, there's no one. What are you talking about? We even checked. The lights were off at that time. So she switched on the lights. So like, there's no one here. What are you talking about? So that's my first encounter, and it was so traumatizing. I didn't go to school for like a week.
Wow. Wait, so when you picked the gift, was it actually a thing? Like, did you actually lift it?
Yeah.
It was there physically?
Yeah, it felt like, it was not there physically, but when I touched it, it felt like there's something I have put on my hand.
And then when you started running, it disappeared?
Yes. So I never know me, or it just disappeared like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a scary, that man was not, it was more of a...
He was more warm, like...
More of a godly feeling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so how did you get over that?
So my mom took me to the pastor, the one for the kids, and then so I talked to her about it, and she just kept telling me that, maybe it's just I saw my things because I'm a child. Sometimes older people don't really believe kids. They'll try to convince you what you believe is not true.
Yeah.
So that's what happened, and it just slipped away out of my mind.
Okay. And then now after that, you started now having these supernatural experiences.
Yeah.
How often, do you have them?
I'd say maybe once a month.
Once a month.
Always be something, a scene I'm seeing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember sometime in high school, during the night. So there's those days maybe you have like insomnia, you just can't sleep. So that time I finished praying, because I usually pray, and I used to carry my Bible and put it under the bed. So I finished praying, I read my Bible and closed. So during the night I start feeling like I'm being called. You get like Jennifer, and then I feel like a hand is tapping me. So I opened my, because I used to cover myself. I was scared at that time, so I used to cover, and I opened the blanket. There's no one in sight. The whole dormitory is quiet, like there's no one talking. Yeah. So I cover again. Now I'm just like, God, please protect me from this. I don't know what is happening. I'm praying. So I open again. There's no one. I then went back to sleep. So that's when it all started.
Okay.
Yeah, so from there, I had series and series of the same encounter. Someone is tapping me.
You.
Or sometimes I could hear a voice telling me something in my sleep. Like, or maybe this one instant, the day before my exams, someone was telling me, go study. I swear, this is so true. Someone in my dream told me, go study on this specific topic at this specific page. So me, I went, I was like, so, maybe it's just like, what will happen if I don't?
Yeah.
And that same question came.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's more of like a godly supernatural, a godly one.
Now there are others that really weren't
Godly.
Yeah.
And
some were happening in high school.
In high school. And were you the only one who was experiencing this?
Yeah.
Because I usually hear a lot of stories about high schools and people are hearing people walking at night. Another one is falling down, things are coming out. Was it just you experiencing this, or did you also have those encounters where it's like multiple students going through the same thing?
At that time, it was just me. I used to confide in a friend of mine, and she's like, you maybe have some mental issue that you need to go.
Yeah.
It was so serious. Back at some point, I wouldn't tell her what I was seeing and going through.
Yeah.
Because there was a times also I could like smell if there's a spirit around.
What?
Yeah, it was that bad. I could smell, there was a certain point I used to pass and I get some minty smell in my nose. It just infiltrates my nose that I can, as in, the way you smell a perfume so directly.
Yeah.
Like that. And I used to know that there's a spirit there lacking.
And then, so after you smell that, what happens?
There's nothing, I just pray. The only time that now something like happened is, we usually have a week for prayer in the school. So there were pastors who came, and then they were saying, we need to pray for people and what. And so when they used to pray, now what I saw was confirmed. Because they were saying, this specific area, there's something wrong. Like there was a well. So around that well is when they were saying like there's some activity that is not normal. Yeah, so that's when they were confirmed. But now after being confirmed, there's really nothing I can change about the situation.
Yeah.
I can't control or even talk to these things because we're not in communication. All I can do is just see and pray for my own protection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and so when you smell a spirit, after you pray, does the smell disappear?
It doesn't disappear.
You just know there's a spirit there.
Spirit, and maybe at times warn someone, maybe this, pray about this matter. Because there are times also I would like receive something in my mind, like maybe in the middle of class, I will feel like strongly, pray for this. Now that was spiritual. But there are times I would feel some sort of draining energy. I would just get so drained and feel like death is around me. You get? I'll just feel something so wrong. And that day, a girl in our class would maybe faint. Because there are a lot of fainting. I don't know. Fainting. So maybe that day a girl would faint, or just someone would have some sort of problem that wasn't normal. Or someone would die in their family. We hear the next day, they come from where their parents, someone has died.
Wow, okay, now this is getting deep, guys. I want us to take a short break and then we'll be back and continue with this amazing conversation. Welcome back, guys, and we were talking about some supernatural experiences with my guest here. Hey, Aki, you're telling me things, Hadi, I'm scared. It's a bit scary. So you are telling us about how sometimes you can tell when something bad is about to happen to someone, and someone is about to die. Yeah. So do you usually know, is it like a vision, or do you dream about it? Do you feel it? How exactly do you know?
Yeah, most of them are dreams. So especially when my aunt was about to die, I had a dream that she was seated on a seat, and then my grandmother, who had already died by then, came, shook her hand, and they sat together, and then they looked at me. So I knew she was joining her. She was like sort of welcoming her. So that's when now I knew she was about to die. So, and then there are times when my other aunt, she was also about to die. So I kept having constant dreams of this other aunt also joining my other aunt and my grandmother. So I called my parents and asked them to pray with me concerning their lives, so her life specifically. So she doesn't join them. Yeah, and she didn't join them.
Oh, she didn't join them.
Yeah.
So these things are actually things you can pray against them.
Not all.
Not all.
Some have a fixed destiny, and then others you can pray about. Yeah.
And for like your classmates, when a classmate is fainting or when they are falling sick, do you know exactly who it is and how it will happen, or do you just know something bad is going to happen today and then it happens?
I don't know the specific person. I wish I did. Then maybe I would have helped the situation.
Yeah.
But I just knew something bad is going to happen. So I'm just always sitting and seeing who's this person. So I'm like observing the class during the day just to know who is next. Yeah.
And do you ever give people like warning signs like, hey guys, today I had a dream, so let's take care, let's be careful?
No, most of the time, some people think you have an ego. They
Yeah.
think that you want to dictate how their life will go and
Yeah.
things like those. So
Yeah.
I tried once to tell my friend that her grandfather was about to die, and she took it so badly, and we don't even talk until today. But I'm sure her grandfather died because I saw her posting it. But she's still angry with me for some reason.
Wow. Okay, and do these things ever affect you, even just mentally? Do you get
Yeah.
affected?
Yeah.
So how do you cope with that? Like when you lose someone and this is literally something you dreamt about, so you knew it was going to happen, how do you cope with that?
I don't think there's a specific way of coping with it. Each situation has its own advantages and disadvantages, in the sense that when it's someone who wasn't really close to me, I won't be as affected, you know. But when it was my aunt, I was affected because I felt like I was part of the reason why she died. You know, when you know something, you feel like I should have done something, or could have done something to stop this.
Yeah.
So at that time, I used to like write, you know, there's this something in therapy they do. You write like a letter to that person, and then you burn it or tear it to close all of the things that you had with them. Just tell them, I'm sorry, I feel like I wronged you in this sense. Yeah. So
Okay.
most of the time, that's what happens.
Okay, and so are these visions just for bad things happening, or can you also foresee good things? Can you also foresee someone's fortune, like if something nice is about to happen, if someone is about to get a promotion, a wedding? Now the nice things.
Yeah, there are also nice things. Yeah, because even when our family was struggling, I had a dream about us living in a better place. I could see even the car that we had and everything. So I told my family at that time, and then like around 2 years later, that's when it happened. And so these are good things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes others I can't tell people. Because during that situation, they won't want to hear, Ati, things are going to get better. Because things are not looking like they're going to get
like
better.
you're not helping.
Yeah. You know, it's those fake promises when someone tells you.
Yeah. But these things always happen. There's never a
yeah.
time you see something and it doesn't come to pass.
Yeah.
So that's actually like a real gift.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I think that gift I was given when I was a kid, it's that one.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
I feel like it's that one, but I'm not really sure. Yeah.
Okay, now I want us to talk about the demonic attacks and the bad, scary side of
stuff. Yes, I'm glad to put my input in this. So I'll start the one in high school, because high school is one when I was attacked most, because that's when my spiritual, I would say, man was stronger. You know, when you're praying more, now the attacks come stronger. So there's this time I was going to bed, because let me tell you one thing about these demonic spirits. Every time, that's why it's usually important when you're going to sleep, you pray, or at least recite the Lord's Prayer. Yeah, if you can't pray or you don't even believe in it, but just for protection. So they usually attack you when you're least defenseless. you know, when you're asleep, your conscious mind is not there.
Yeah.
So your first thought won't be, let me pray,
Yeah.
or let me get out my Bible, or something like that. So at that time, I was going to sleep, and so see, I went and slept. Now, in the middle of the night, I woke up. I looked, and I saw my body on the bed. Yeah, I could see my body is on the bed, and I'm standing beside my body. So at first I was like, what is going on? So I'm looking around. Before I even adjust to the situation, someone hit me like this. So when I turned, I saw a figure. And you know the thing with these demonic spirits, they don't have a face. You just see a figure.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can't tell where this spirit is coming from or what. So that figure hit me. So when I turn and I'm like, let me also try and hit back. So it was a wrangle. I am trying to block Nini, I'm trying to hit him and whatever and whatever. So the only thing that really saved me was calling on Jesus' name. I was like, Jesus, help, because this whatever it was overpowering me. Now I was on the ground, like,
Fighting. Yeah.
So I say, Jesus. And I woke up. I woke up literally, I woke up like this. And then I look around the dorm. There's no one
Oh my
beside
gosh.
me or anything.
Yeah.
And no one, I would say, actually had me scream or anything. In the whatever it was, I was screaming. But no one now in reality looks like they felt or saw anything.
Yeah.
And it was so freaky, I couldn't sleep in the dorm alone. I asked one of my friends if I could sleep with her in the same bed, just for my conscience
to feel a bit safe. Yeah. Wow. And then have you ever had like a really, really bad, scary, demonic attack or experience? It doesn't really have to be a dream, just an encounter. You see, like how you say you saw a man who seemed to be Jesus. So has it now ever been the opposite?
The negative.
Yeah,
definitely. This time I was not in high school. I was done with school. So there was a time I was sleeping, and most of the time when I am being talked to, maybe by, I'd like to believe it's God, during my dreams or visions, I'm usually taken to a school. So in this school, it represents like life, the way we are being taught how to live as Christ. So I was walking through this school, and I had a friend of mine, and I was now passing by, I wouldn't say, like a corridor of some sort. So I was with my friend, we were talking normally. In these dreams also, you have a feeling that you know this person and they're your friend, but you don't know them. Yeah, so I was there. I saw one of, at that time I had the understanding that one of them was an angel. She was sitting there and was smiling at me while I was passing. And then there was another one that I passed who seemed more of authoritative. One, I was even scared of saying hi to him.
Yeah.
So I knew that's one, like maybe those big angels. So I passed him and I continued walking. So we went to some class, we saw some students there that were being taught. Now I went to some sort of corridor. In that corridor, I was looking around, and then suddenly I felt some sort of dread. The dread I talked to you about, like just there's some depressing, dreadful feeling that took over me. And then when I looked on the side, I saw someone there seated so casually, relaxed, like everything is under their control. Was seated literally like this on one of the, wasn't, see, like a place like this, but on the corridor. So he was seated like that.
Yeah.
And then this person started telling me, I know who you are. I was like, of course you know me, because I know that's what the school. And I said, do you know who I am? And I was like, no, of course I don't know you, but I felt that dread still heavily. So this person telling me, I am Lucifer, and all the questions that you have, I can answer them. So he was telling me like that, and he looked so cocky. So I am I am who I think I am.
Yeah.
So he was telling me all of this. I was confused, and I could see like a sort of tree on the side. That tree started like shaking of some sort. And then Lucifer is there, and he's looking at me, and I could feel like that dread feeling, but
Yeah.
a form of like I'm being drawn to him. Like my mind is being manipulated to see him as this light or something, someone I can
rely on.
or something.
Yeah.
So before we could continue, a knock, I had a knock on the balcony door. We looked, and so that angel I told you had authoritative. He just knocked, and then Lucifer went.
Wow.
Yeah, he knocked and he went. So I never got to know what really he wanted to tell me. I don't think I want to because
He's never come to you again after that.
That was the first and last time.
And how was he looking like? Was he like?
You can't have. He doesn't have a face. It's just a figure. And I don't even think you can look to him because the dreadful feeling, you just feel that let me distance myself. It's too much. So I don't think you can even look into his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was one of the worst feelings I've ever had in my entire life. It's not depression.
Yeah.
Depression. It's a bigger, worse
Yeah.
version of it.
That's a bit scary. So after such an encounter, do you like talk to someone? Do you like have a therapist or? Because I feel like these things can be a bit draining and damaging to your mental health.
Yeah.
So what do you do to just like maintain a good mental health?
I haven't even worked at my mental health. Because the only thing I used to do is tell my mom. Because my mom also knows I have dreams.
Yeah.
So I used to tell my mom, this is what happened. So she would pray with me and tell me sometimes to write down these things to have a recollection. Because sometimes there were things you saw but didn't understand. So later on you get an understanding of what it meant.
Yeah.
So, but mentally working through this thing, I don't think I have reached to that level because most of the time you already understand because most of the mental issues come from misunderstanding or not understanding entirely the situation.
Yeah.
But at this point, I understand this is a spiritual attack, and I know the source.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
So relying on Jesus already secure, so I don't get some sort of anxiety or trouble.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing. Oh my gosh, let's take a short break and then we'll return into the last segment of the show. I'll see you guys shortly. Welcome back, and we are now at the last part of the show, and I just want you to tell us how someone should handle these attacks. For example, someone who's probably has never had an attack, what to do when they happen, what not to do. Yeah, just give us some advice.
Yeah, so what I'll say is, first of all, you have to have the understanding that this is a gift. Yeah, so with gift, acceptance comes with it first before even you take any other action. You have to accept this is a gift and it's something that I'm going to carry for most part of my life. Most of them don't leave you. So after that, what you do is have someone that you can go and talk to and tell them all these issues. Someone you feel like would understand you or someone who would understand all these spiritual activities, especially someone who is older than you in terms of a spiritual world. Someone you'll know when you tell them, I've been going through this, they'll tell you, this has happened to me before, and this is how you do it. And in the chances that you don't have someone like that, for you to have that gift, you have also a source from that gift. So your source may be God, or your source may be whoever it is. Go to the source and ask them how to guide you into answering all these questions that you have. That's all I can say.
Okay, and you mentioned that most people who get these attacks are people who pray, or rather someone notices just when I'm about to really start getting prayerful is when the attacks come. So someone might get a bit discouraged and say, okay, then let me stop praying so that I don't get these attacks. Yeah, what do you have to say about that?
I say continue praying. All those attacks are very, very short, temporary. In the beginning, it's just that they want to throw you off because they know you'll be scared. But as you continue praying, you'll have more confidence in God, in the protection that He offers. So it won't be a problem anymore, and they won't be bothered. Because these demonic things, they run through fear. They suck the fear out of you. If they give you fear, that's how they have control over you. But over time, the fear will end and life will continue.
Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been such an experience just listening to the stories. It was a bit scary, but I'm glad you gave us your experience. Yeah, so that's it for today, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.